of everything. He is the king of lying. Don't talk about the buck him bird, bumping up big gum like an old goat.
Let's talk too much.
Don't talk about Rowley, he lacking integrity. 23 million rand and we can't get off cent. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Fares, King Scott, living high, dictatorship style. Putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN. Well, this is your Indian political warrior, massive go sign. Take it in your liver.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, Forest Bay North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out. For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, Forest Bay North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
BNM is the stalwarts of mafia, bubble and corruption. Home of them big liars, big thieves of millions of dollars. Don't trust none of them. Them is the real problem. They're doing me what they want, so they be vote of them. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Fares, King Scott, living high, dictatorship style. Putting us in the poor people's eyes. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, Forest Bay North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
Rowley acting like a dictator. He and Maduro moving together. They bring down Delcy Rodriguez and be citizens, oh they crying tears.
Nah, boy.
They want the US to sanction we, cause more poverty. They're doing we what they want, so now we vote of them. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Fares, King Scott, living high, dictatorship style. Putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking
West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, Forest Bay North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
Stuart Young, minister of everything. He is the king of lying. Don't talk about the buck him bird, bumping up big gum like an old goat.
Let's talk too much.
Don't talk about Rowley, he lacking integrity. 23 million rand and we can't get off cent. We not vote.
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry. This is, yes, the Saturday edition of the Corridor Transformation. I trust that you had a wonderful time yesterday because I did. Of course, it was as per usual. And I had my, what I like to call my sweat. But of course, all play and no work make what? Jack a dull boy. And all work, and all play and no work make Jack a mere toy. So, of course, you have to balance it. So, we are going to have a wonderful period. Of course, from the introductions so far, you will see that it is about elections. It is about the conduct of the EBC and, of course, the Rowley administration over the years. Yes, indeed.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be.
Yes, your vote will decide. And it is about time. It is a long, long, hot 2024 for the PNM, Dr. Rowley, and his, of course, on the rampage, deceptive, undermining, callous, as well as illegal conduct as far as elections are concerned. Unprecedented, but of course it is a coup, an auto coup.
Just how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stain your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power, dominate your reign. Let's put our country together again. If for 30 years you voting them in, and it's only tears as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your souls, promising you roads and giving potholes. If they are the reason why the economy won't sprout,
Yes, people,
voting for them out.
it's voting time again, and you must act in your own best interests. We have provided you with all the resources, all the knowledge, all the wherewithal, all the information to make a decision in your own best interests. Are you going to vote for the... And I am being, of course, generous here when I say controversial. It's really a dastard. And as Rowley would say, a wicked, a nasty, an awful, a dreaded property tax. That is what Rowley said. Are you going to vote for that when the time comes in 2025? Because the line has been drawn, and you must now cast your own line in the sand as to the degree of tolerance and whether or not Rowley and they have exhausted your own tolerance. The anathema that we have for this group of individuals purporting to be government and governance, and at the same time, exhausted not just the resources of the country, financial and otherwise, but have a proclivity, a tendency to taunt us, to reach the degree of brinksmanship, to tell us that we are fools, not providing the resources or employment opportunities and expanding the economy, telling us we must take our savings now and our bootstrap living conditions. In other words, moving from paycheck to paycheck and still pay property tax. Apart, of course, from having to pay VAT on almost every item, of having, of course, to cope with the increase in electricity, water rates, etc. And at the same time telling us in the most flagrant but deceptive of manner that not one gazetted employee of the government was dismissed from employment. What a callous display of what I can describe as semantics. Semantics. And built into that clearly is gaslighting. Trying to convince you of something that you know is not true. They would die trying. Well, I say let them die. Let them die. Gazetted workers simply means that those persons who are permanently employed. But there's quite a large number of persons depending on the government that would have been either casual workers, temporary workers, or contracted workers, all of whom had expectations that the government, depending on the length of time that they would have been employed by these so-called casual, temporary, they could still go to work because there is need in the public service for their services. And that is just a matter of time if the public service system itself has been opened up, that you or they will be able to get into the system and, of course, pursue their permanent career course within the public service. But none of that. This government stopped the recruitment of public servants, first and foremost, and then began to fire casual, temporary, and the contracted workers, and has the audacity, the temerity, the gall, in that very indurate, hard-hearted, evil intent, telling us that not a gazetted worker did not receive, as if they are doing us a favor. You haven't worked. You that are in the system and are considered permanent workers, do not allow Rowley and they to insult your intelligence. Why must they and why must you concur and accept that they are saying that you should be grateful that you still have a job? No, the public service must have people to work, who would collect, of course, the licensing fee, who would administer the provision of license, who would engage in the collection and distribution and the wiring of the electricity commissions. Who would? Who would? And people, we have a duty and responsibility to do what? To do what? To do what? To, before it's too late.
When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is, they prove it to be only full amount. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is, the time is now that change should come about. Just as how you vote them in, register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stain your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power, dominate their reign. Country together again. If I could, they give you big words and enslave your souls, promising you roads and giving potholes. If they are
Yes, people, of course, the lines are open, of course, 337-6940. The lines are open, of course, and you can. I trust that you are getting a supply that is, it continues, of course, to be challenging because we made the application for a new provider of the internet, but it will take some time. So I expect at the ending of the coming week or this week coming up, that we will get the improvement in our internet supply. In the meantime, we have to work with what we have, and we are determined, of course, to make certain that we so do. So let us, of course, not fool ourselves. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. But, of course, we are determined to treat with the matter as it comes. And in such circumstance, we have to abide with the inconvenience. Yes, we will abide with the inconvenience. Right here, of course, on the George Street, we continue, of course, to do what we have to do in order to bring the information. But I want to tell you this, because we have been demonstrating a deep concern for the situation as far as the elections are concerned, the Elections and Boundaries Commission, and I want to say, finally, and those of you who are saying that the opposition is not working, I fervently and categorically deny and disagree, because without their intervention, without their commitment to the people, the democratic process, and of course the quality of life and standard of living that has exponentially deteriorated over the last night, they could have easily collected their kakada, so to speak, and not to do what is expected of them in the interests of the people. And of course, could stay there and don't want to enter government and get a salary, even though, of course, it may not be what I consider to be reliable, permanent jobs may provide, because let's face it, in politics, you are here today and you are out tomorrow. That's how it is. But the fact of the matter is, the vicissitude of politics is defined, or should I say, is compensated by the fact that the period for which persons are there, no matter how long, but they are committed to servicing the people, then we know that we are on the right path. If that is not the case, then we are in trouble. And Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC have clearly over the years demonstrated of their love, their commitment, their dedication, and their natural patriotism, and of course, lover of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the people of Trinidad and Tobago can know what is happening with the EBC, particularly in circumstances where the EBC has been constantly accused, including the corridor transformation, the ground report, etc., on their conduct, and the courts, because the court said that they infringe a fundamental principle when they extended unilaterally, without authority and without the involvement of the then president at the time for voting in the 2015 general elections. And that, to me, has repercussions even to today, because it gave Rowley, a fellow like Rowley, who lied to us clearly from the beginning that he didn't want the job, that of course he was a Democrat, that he was a person who is limited to his tolerance of corruption and nepotism, and of course all of the evils, including of course the rule of law, and of course the separation of powers, and the infiltration and or respect for independent institutions. All of those have been infringed to what he was telling us before the 2015 elections, that of course catapult him into the office of Prime Minister, and he don't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave, even though he says that he is not one who believes in coming out by the foot. In other words, in a coffin, in a public office. But no, he never had it better. I mean, from a lowly lecturer in some far and near university to today, the Prime Minister, and now, of course, accumulated riches that he cannot account for. And at the same time, we recognize that not only the depletion of our treasury, whether in the form of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, whether in the form of the reserves, whether in the form of excess liquidity in the system, all of that we know now that has wrapped with a rapaciousness that could only equal to hungry pigs, swines. Well, these fellas are no doubt swines. And of course, I think they have wings as well. So you can easily call them kobos, political, and of course, financial and otherwise, looking, of course, to get unmerited and unfair wealth by exposing the population to their nefarious avarice and egregiously greedy propensity for material gains of the. You can only draw that conclusion having regard to what has transpired over the last 9 years. And they could say what they want. They could jump institutions, demonstrating not only their mediocrity and the promotion and institutionalization thereof, but also their inability to, of course, gravitate to a higher level and standard of conduct, whether it be in the public service, whether it be, of course, in the Police Service Commission. What we have seen unsavory and unacceptable and cannot be countenanced in a democracy that talks about government by the people, of the people, and for the people, is a group of persons who have decided to keep the PNM and this evil regime in power. And we have a duty and responsibility by our finger to do what? To vote them out. Yes, indeed. And this is what it is all about. It is about voting them out, and we must do so resoundingly.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can foretell our country's fate. Move and use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting, fail beyond a doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is they prove it to be only full amount. When you're voting, vote them out.
Yes, indeed. When they're proven to be only a full amount, then you vote them out. Plenty talk like empty vessels, making plenty noise. We saw only today where Gonzalez, after, of course, telling us that we are going to have improved water supply plants, will be added to the one that they, as a PNM, criticized. One in Tobago, Charlottesville, and one, of course, in Moruga. And we know that both of them are marginal seats, and that the PNM catch the ant and will continue so to do. In the case of Charlottesville, to retain it, and in the case of course, Moruga, Tableland, never to get it again. But they are going to, of course, use water as a political overture, as a political, what I consider to be olive branch, to see if they can stay in office to do us evil. And any modicum of apparent good, let me repeat, any modicum of apparent good, whether it is an improved water supply, cannot and must not obfuscate to take away the fact that they have done so much evil that no way they could redeem themselves. Let us face it. No way. No way. That is Machiavellian politics that must be in domestic and Trinidad and Tobago politics. Otherwise, we are doomed to repeat for 4-point-something years, and then in the final months of the final year of election or before elections, they then, of course, try to pretend to be holier than thou and immaculate, and did not do us the evil that we knew and we know that was perpetrated upon us over the last 4 years before. We cannot be that gullible. We cannot be that stupid. We cannot be so inane. We cannot be so vulnerable and susceptible to that level of deception. No, we must put people in office who have demonstrated in and out of government and who have in their own lives have shown us that they are concerned about the public good, that Trinidad and Tobago is of paramount importance. Let's go straight, of course, to the lines. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yes, Lennox, good night.
Good night
Yes,
to you.
good night.
Good night.
So much tonight. I
All right,
decided to call early.
Right. I ain't
I
got the internet
listening
going
here.
on. Okay,
All
go
they
ahead.
believe these people going on and improve the water supply. I tell you that it's a weapon never increased. Going to do any better with this thing,
Yes.
right? It's trouble right through. Here I set up a security do the country. Listen to this setup,
Yes.
right? And I tell only about it 2 years ago. Well, it finally come true now. After
All right.
2 years,
All right.
watch me. I told the country, this thing where he saying he going to think dragon gas, right?
Yes.
He does lie here, only going to see about dragon gas. He was going to use to always saying he changing $100. He will come and change down to the dollar, the 5, the 10, blah, 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 right?
Right.
So, Shorty does lie and say he going to thing with dragon gas. I was telling you, he going and get ferry where they bring plane and it go benefit them because we don't want anything down there. Go to see the family, meet them, right? And they going over, all who married and get passport and have residence, they could travel over there and come back, blah, blah, blah. But we ain't going over there for anything. All who go down with there, they might come back and pass. Don't say I ain't tell all they anything. Who don't hear, they'll have to feel. You see how they end up out in the sea, I don't know we ain't hearing anything about the body. We still don't know if they're dead or alive. And so it will be good. Let you hear anything about them, Red Fishermen?
No.
Hello?
No. Except parts. How do you
Lennox?
about parts? Yes, I'm here. I'm responding to you.
I hear a word.
All right. I'm saying no. I've not heard. Are you hearing me?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Yes.
No. All right. I hear you a little bit, right?
All right,
So
good.
I will leave it there.
All
Have
right.
a good night.
Yes. Good night to you as well, my friend. Good night to you as well. I'm trying to see if there is an audio issue because I have not seen it. Let me just put up some more. Give you some more audio as far as the mic is concerned. Let me just look at something here before I go further. All right, I've seen something with volume here. So let me just put it up a little more. All right, so I think we should improve the miking capacity. I think the mic should be a little more audible. You shouldn't have much difficulty. Once again, let me just check it once again. Right, no. So that is output. We're talking about the mic here. All right, the mic input. And let me see, right? So it's there. All right, so that's that. By the system, let me just put up a little more. All right, good. So that should solve that problem. All right, so the caller talked about, of course, the whole question of the situation with the dragon gas. We know that's a fait accompli, but very interesting. She raised a very good point because I was not aware that Venezuela would have triangle the lines. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay. I call in to say this. The world is a fast-moving place.
Yes.
You agree with me?
I agree, 100%.
And I thought I thought at one time that the PNM was talking about rapid rail and developing the country.
Yes.
But it don't fit, because then he turn around, the whole party turn around now, and they start to spend millions of dollars on the Balize house.
Yes.
Now, I don't really have the figure as to how much millions they're spending, but they're spending a lot.
Obviously,
right?
yes.
And that is wrong, because, you should be taking this money and putting it into programs for the youth and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for 9 years, we didn't even see anything really for the youth, right? So where were those programs? They just packed them, just maybe about what, 500 people, 200 people in positions, and that will, even if they're looking to employ those people will still need training, and that will take them some time to even do that.
Yes.
But what about the other thousands of people that you have out there? You have people in different careers. Nobody I want to say anything about it, because, like, common sense for the PNM just disappear. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and I find that the more they continue to spend money in things like the Balize house and all that, it's totally wrong. And people say PNM people want to say anything, and they should be ashamed of themselves, because look at how the Prime Minister talks to people.